Happy Monday morning. I wanted to just take a moment and I thought I was going to do a one card reading, but 6 cards actually fell out. So I'm going to do that and see what happens here. So I'm going to go over the cards that fell out, and I had to kind of smile. The first two that fell out, they fell out together. Freedom, you notice the number 3 there. It's a 12, equals your 3. About freedom, and also a 3 has a lot to do with communication, which you'll see in a second why I found it comical. Then we have the empathy card and number 1. All makes sense. And from there, again, I'm going to move, as you guys know, where the cards fell out. We have communication. Number 9 fell out, which also in number 3. And we'll talk about the number 9, all about new beginnings and endings and beginnings, and your number 1, all new beginning. The next card that fell out, aloneness, a number 3. And that really does go hand in hand with what's going out. And look how this card fell kind of out there. Quite interesting. Oops. Then we had the mirror card, number 5. Pretty interesting. And the sexuality, number 9. So this makes sense. So I'm going to start up here. Okay, I'm supposed to start with the empathy. So as you guys know, moving into this week, the moon's moved through. The full moon we just had over the weekend on Saturday. We're still in Mercury retrograde, but that new moon really opened some things up, and there was a lot going on over this weekend with the energies as well. So moving into this week, it's all about empathy. I'm trying to move out of the light here. So just, go deep in your heart. And before you're quick to snap or judgment with someone else, remember the empathy. And you guys know I like to focus on, look at those colors. You got a lot of root chakra in there. You got a lot of crown violet, a lot of blue throat. And the red is the root for those that don't know. And there's a lot of orange in there too, sacral. So quite interesting. And you got your white in there too. So remember, this is what we're looking at this week. In gentleness. It's really going to be a lot about gentleness towards yourself and others. Over here we got the freedom card, and look at this. You got the violets, the white, your throat, number 3. This is really this moon, and even as we progress into retrograde, that first week was, it's the most challenging, first couple weeks. You're moving into a space of freedom. You finally have stepped outside of, what you've enslaved yourself with. It doesn't matter, what it is. It could be food, money, sex, drugs, alcohol. It doesn't matter. This is an opportunity that you're moving forward. Freedom. And, okay, we're going to move over. Okay, communication. I was trying to hear which direction I'm going next. And look at this. You got your white, you got your crown. I mean, this is all a number 9. This is being very clear in your communication, not only to others, but within, how you're speaking to yourself. And that's radiating outward, how you're going to speak to others, what you're going to share with others. The big key here this week of communication, it's being clear. And this is pretty amazing. It's also being clear in the boundaries you set with your own energetic space, energetic field. Be clear in your boundaries. It doesn't have to be verbal. Be clear in your communication, whether it's verbal, action, setting your boundaries. And you see this number 9, this is all about, again, we're still in retrograde. There are some things you're bringing to an end. It could be old things with yourself, some old friendships, relationships, jobs, whatever it is. Some things are ending to bring new beginnings. That's your number 9. This is really, really powerful and quite amazing. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to try not to get you guys dizzy. Move a little slower. I'm just going to move this so we can kind of see it out of the light here. Interesting that this light keeps shining there. Aloneness. And look at this. I don't know if you guys can see them, pick it up. You got that moon there, and the blues, all about throat. And it's interesting. I am hearing not just throat, but how we've been speaking to ourselves. Has a lot to do with aloneness because, and we're going to get back to the freedom card. There's a lot going on this week with aloneness, and what that means, it's allowing yourself the time you need to be with you. Get comfortable in your aloneness because that's building the relationship with yourself. And there's that number 3 again, communication. How are you going to learn to have a relationship with yourself if you don't get in that quiet space of aloneness? How are you talking to yourself? How are you talking about yourself? People don't realize the words, the energy behind them, the way you speak, think about yourself. It's powerful. So get in your space, allow yourself to get comfortable with a little bit of aloneness. Now, aloneness does not mean lonely. People get a little confused thinking that aloneness is lonely. No, aloneness means taking the time, being alone with you, being comfortable, embracing that. It's very powerful. It's where you're going to renew, regenerate, but it's also because we're still in retrograde. We're still taking the time to clear out some things. And the only way you can allow that natural divine flow for things to, come up and clear out is being comfortable, being in aloneness. Go for a walk, just be with you a little bit. But that number 3, it's very clear. Pay attention. Really be aware. How do you talk about yourself? How do you communicate about you to others? What words are you tying to that? How do you speak to yourself? Because it's also huge. It's going to be how you create that new relationship with you and the communication you have with others. So take the time that you need. And isn't it interesting? I'm just going to go back over these a little bit. We had the empathy card. Remember, we talked about having empathy for yourself. Go deeper. Then you had the freedom card. Then the communication card. All of these things, and I'm going to try to move a little slower, everybody. All of these things go hand in hand. That aloneness. Get comfortable. Get comfortable with you. It's pretty powerful coming up this week, but really amazing. Okay, so down here, as I shared, we had the sexuality card and we had the mirror card. And these do not surprise me. I'm going to start here with sexuality. You see the white, you got all the orange. There's a little bit of yellow in here. So this is your, sacral, solar plexus. And of course your, crown, your heart, you got some of that white in there, combination. Number 9, interesting with communication. Now with sexuality, you have the number 9. So this is just clearing out some old patterns and stepping into some new patterns. And sexuality is really getting in that space of comfortableness in your own skin. It's not, necessarily what everybody thinks. This is owning your own. Really powerful here. And then we move into number 5, the mirror card. That would make sense with every card that is shown up here with the empathy, freedom, communication, aloneness, sexuality. Number 5, it's really letting go of some old things, but you had to really look in the mirror and face them. You had to really look. I'm going to bring this up. Look in this mirror to determine, who's looking back at you. Do you like what you're seeing? Look in the eyes. This was kind of the leader of this week, doing the mirror work. Not just looking face to face in a mirror, which is, yes, do that as well, but looking within. And that's the big thing where this aloneness card comes in. These all really flow hand in hand, beautiful. As you hear in most of the readings, to really evolve and step into your own, you have to do the inner work. And that inner work starts, I'm just going to point right here, with that mirror work. because that's where you're going to find it, within. And then look in the mirror, because who you are within is going to reflect outward. So again, I'll just do a quick glance here. You got your, empathy. We moved into the freedom, over to communication. Pretty amazing this week. The aloneness, and look how that's even, it like fell out separated from the cards. Sexuality and your mirror work. Really powerful week, everybody. But again, empathy. Be gentle with yourself. Go deep, but be gentle with yourself. Know that this is really going to be, it's going to be a lighter week, because you see, you got the freedom in here. But a lot is going on with the communication. So everyone pay attention to the words. Words that pop into your mouth, words that pop into your mind, the words that you speak outward, and the words you speak inward. Big difference. It talks about, what you say, what you do. Here, communication, not only verbal, your actions, and set your boundaries. Be clear in what your boundaries are. Pretty powerful week, everyone. I, as always, sending loads of love. It's going to be a great week, and enjoy, everyone. And remember, gentle with yourself, but do the mirror work. Take the time you need, but also spend that time with yourself that you need to do. This is a good week to do. Just spend a little bit of time. Go in nature if you need. Sit outside for a few minutes. Take your dog for a walk if you have one. Whatever you need to do to get that alone time with you, without all the chaos around and, everyday life, the hecticness. Have a great day, a great week, everyone. I will talk to you soon. I love everyone. I love all of you guys. We're all one. Thank you.